This film has been compiled from record material taken in the field by scientists who were studying the life history and habits of the Mallee fowl, Leipoa ocellata. The photographic records and the story they tell proved of such interest that they've been summarised in this film. This dry and sandy country of dwarf eucalyptus is the home of the Mallee fowl. A member of the family Megapodiidae, or mound builders, these birds do not brood their eggs in the ordinary way, but lay them in the ground and leave them to be hatched by the heat of fermenting vegetable matter, helped by the natural heat of the sun. The nesting mounds are found throughout the interior of southern Australia, from Western Australia through to Victoria and north into New South Wales. During the winter months, from June to August, a large hole up to 15 feet in diameter and 4 feet deep is dug in the loose sandy soil. Leaf and twig litter, sometimes including quite big sticks, is scraped up from the area round about and heaped into the centre of the hollow. By August, this material is heaped up well above soil level. The top of the material is scooped out to form the egg chamber. At the end of August, the organic matter has started to ferment and is covered by sand to a depth of from 1 to 2 feet. At this time of the year, the male birds are very jealous of their mounds and fighting is frequent. Many displays, such as this threat display, are carried out to discourage intruders. As the organic matter in the mound continues to decay, the temperature within the egg chamber rises. This rising temperature is tested regularly by the male. In early September, when the nest temperature reaches about 92 degrees Fahrenheit, he begins to open the mound for egg laying. Opening the mound takes about 2 hours continuous work. When the organic matter is reached, the female goes into the hole and scratches a small niche in the wall of the egg chamber and lays her egg. Each egg weighs about half a pound, 1/7 of the bird's own weight. Eggs are laid at about weekly intervals, and as many as 30 may be laid by one female in a laying season of 5 to 6 months. The incubation period of each egg is about 8 weeks. After laying an egg, the female retires. The male, who has remained motionless throughout the egg-laying procedure, now examines the egg and very carefully covers it with soil. The process of restoring the mound takes 2 or 3 hours. During the incubation period, from September to March, the birds continually attend the mound to maintain the egg chamber at a steady 92 degrees Fahrenheit. The soil temperature starts rising in July, continues through the spring and summer, and then declines. The temperature of the decaying organic matter in the mound rises rapidly in August and September, and then falls off slowly. The birds alter the shape of the mound to maintain a constant temperature inside it. The egg chamber temperature of a typical mound was recorded by a thermograph and is shown by this line. Temperature testing and regulation is carried out by the male. Almost daily he opens the mound and tests the temperature of the egg chamber. It's believed that the actual temperature test is made through the tongue by scooping up a beak full of sand. Having tested the temperature, the male alters the mound to keep the egg chamber at a constant temperature. Methods of temperature control vary according to the season. During spring and early summer, more than sufficient heat comes from the decaying organic matter. At this time of the year, it's necessary to cool the mound to keep the eggs at the correct temperature. So, almost daily, the male visits the mound at dawn. He opens the mound, tests the temperature, and rapidly refills it with cool sand. This results in a loss of surplus heat and a return to the correct temperature of 92 degrees. By midsummer, the organic matter has nearly all rotted away, but a greater amount of heat comes from the sun, and again the eggs need cooling. To deal with this, the mound is gradually built higher and higher to increase the amount of insulation to the egg chamber. However, there is still a slow increase in temperature due to heat being conducted down from the surface. Again the male comes in the cool of the morning and digs out the nest. He thoroughly mixes up the soil, replaces it within the mound, and in this way brings about the necessary cooling. By autumn, there is no heat available from the organic matter and not much from the sun. It now becomes necessary to warm the eggs. The mound is scooped out into the form of a saucer so that only 2 or 3 inches of sand cover the eggs. This operation is only started when the sun is well up and shining on the mound. At intervals throughout the day, the birds scoop back into the nest small quantities of sand which have been heated by the sun. By the end of the afternoon, the mound has been restored to its full height. Although the Mallee fowl is usually an extremely shy and wary bird, this male is so concerned with the necessity of maintaining the egg chamber at the correct temperature that he's completely lost his fear of human beings. He still attempts to restore his carefully prepared mound to prevent the temperature being disturbed. After an incubation period of 8 weeks, the chicks hatch, about 3 feet under the soil. They dig vertically to the surface, moving up through the hot sand at a rate of about 1 foot an hour. On reaching the surface, they stagger to the nearest cover where they rest for an hour or so. Having rested, they move off into the scrub where they feed on insects and the seeds of acacia or small herbs. Each chick is completely independent and capable of flight on the day it hatched. Very little is known of their growth in the field, but it's believed they require 2 years to mature. As the female lays a total of between 20 and 30 eggs at a rate of about 1 per week, and as each egg requires 8 weeks to hatch, the egg laying and incubation period is spread out over as much as 7 months. This means that many of the early eggs have hatched before the last eggs are laid. Throughout the season, the male remains in complete control of the mound. He opens the mound for egg laying and checks the temperature. He alters its height according to the season to maintain the correct temperature in the egg chamber, and he continues his heavy work right through from August until March. Within a week of the last chick hatching, the male is again on the job, digging out the nest and preparing for the coming season. You'd think it'd be easier to make the female sit on the eggs and be done with it.